How is that possible?
Yo, what's going on, man? What are you so stressed about?
Nothing.
I don't think that wand's gonna help. Would you accidentally saw another woman in half, trying to figure out how much the funeral's gonna cost? What?
I mean, it wasn't necessarily it.
Well, I mean, what's all this? Was this your Hogwarts homework?
No,
Gotta have potions in by Monday? What is this, dude?
I've already graduated.
Would you just find out Chris Angel's not a real angel or a magician?
Well, that's debatable. I mean,
I don't really think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, no. I mean, what I'm doing, I can't figure. I'm trying to do my taxes. I'm late again, and there's all these numbers. I feel like they're gonna send me to prison.
Oh man, they're not gonna do that. Look, check this out. Tax Network USA. That can help you, dude. They're magicians. They make your taxes disappear. Kinda. Well, no pun intended. I didn't mean to offend you, but
No harm, no foul.
But yeah, they can also do bookkeeping, and they can help you with your finances all through the year. So check that out, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they can help you deduct all your silly string and your rope you tie women up in your basement. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, my
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. It's
Yeah,
really
see ya.
gonna help.
Oh, before I forget, promo code Crowder. When you go to tnusa.com, promo code Crowder, yeah, they'll hook you up. So,
Wow. Thanks a lot.
yeah.
Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. You can call 1-800-245-6000 or visit tnusa.com/Crowder.
I sipped. Barely. It's enough. Glad to be with you. It was a busy weekend, so yeah. I have a new gimmick. I have to do a friendly monster with my little one for hours at a time.
He focuses.
Yeah, he focuses. He fixates. But I think that's normal. You know, I don't know. Nowadays they would hop them up on medication. All right, glad to be with you. I don't know if you know this, but Raisi is dead. The Iranian prime minister.
Oh, no.
What does it change? If you're on social media, you think this changes the world and World War III. The truth is, not a whole lot. And then, I don't know if you know this, the Ayatollah kind of runs things.
Yeah.
You don't fully need to understand the intricacies of the Iranian government to know that if the Ayatollah says, go fund the Hamas, they do it. So we'll talk about that, and we'll kind of talk about the system of government and what this guy has done. And I don't know if you know, did you know this, that you are funding terrorism? Did you know that? Because Iran funds Hamas, they're the biggest supporter of global terrorism. And we unfroze $6 billion, so you actually helped pay for October 7th. Regardless of your views on the conflict, you helped pay for it. We're going to be fact-checking former Vice President Biden's speech there on, well, I guess we'll call it the George Floyd speech. It's the speech about the blacks.
Oh, my gosh. We did it so.
Colored people.
I didn't say that.
So it hasn't happened yet, but if at some point today while you're watching on YouTube and you see this, head on over to Rumble. It streams every weekday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about fake news today, not only with the Iranian president, but a story about sea turtles that I saw on Instagram that just had me livid because...
Oh, please.
Someone ripped someone's true story about a sea turtle, lied about it, and got something like 40 million more plays than the original story, and it's a lie. And we have some stats on fake news out there because it actually is a problem. It's not the way the left has tried to tell you it's a problem, but it is a problem, and hopefully give you some tools to identify it. All right, Captain Morgan, number 2, how are you?
I'm doing well. Birthday party survived.
Yep.
So we're good to go. How about you?
Good. I survived your birthday party as well.
You did, yes.
Yeah, it's a good time.
My 2-year-old trying to kill you multiple
Every
times.
single time. Tell me, is this normal? Every time his 2-year-old sees me?
It's totally legit,
He
by the
grabs,
way.
this is completely legitimate, grabs I turn around, he has a baseball, and he's about to whack me over the head with it.
Right.
And then I'm playing with him
Somebody
a
get
little
this
bit.
kid a bat.
I know.
He did.
It's a better
I
weapon.
had to stop him. That was the second time. And the third time, he grabbed a kitchen spatula and tried to hit me over the head with it.
It's true.
And the only
time.
way I can sort of rationalize it is one point where we're kind of roughhousing, and I went like, "Oh no!" And I think he wants the reaction.
Yeah.
but he's grabbing rocks.
He's going to get it one way or the other. He's escalating every time.
He's only 2, but he has a good understanding of the kind of blunt objects like
you need.
Did you show him Clue? Is that what's going on?
No.
Come with a candlestick? Yeah.
I think Gerald's just a violent person.
That's what I think, too.
I was like, here, go hit Uncle Steven. He likes it.
Monkey see, monkey do. And we can say that because he's white. When you hear this, you know him, you love him. You can watch his stand-up special, American, on Mug Club. And follow him on the Instagram at Josh_Firestine. How are you, sir?
Good. I had a good weekend. I watched some new TV. There's a new show called Baby Reindeer.
Oh, yeah?
It's so terrible.
It's weird. It's weird. It's a
so
weird show.
Freaking terrible.
I highly recommend you force yourself to watch the entire thing.
No.
I don't know who to trust.
There's a point that you will get to if you watch that, and that is the point I left and stopped watching that.
Yeah, well, your head comes to a point.
No, listen.
So...
It's very bad.
Don't let tax issues overpower you. Go to Tax Network USA and let them take care of it. tnusa.com/Crowder. I know you saw the intro there with the magician, the office magician.
You said overpower
which
you. It was like,
may not make a whole lot of sense unless you watch the show regularly. Okay.
Yeah.
So we weren't going to cover this, but then run through happened and it got spirited. So this is a young woman, a very pretty woman. And of course, my heart goes out to her, to be clear. Anyone who's unhappy, and seemingly miserable with their situation, that's always a tough pill to swallow. But she decided to, as one does, vent her personal problems to the internet.
Oops.
And it's getting quite a reaction.
I've literally convinced myself at this point, based on everything that everyone's telling me, my therapist, my family, my friends, that I'm just doing everything wrong. I'm healing wrong. I'm thinking wrong. I'm training wrong. I'm doing relationships wrong. Everything I do is wrong. And I'm so sick of it. Stop comparing. It's not even about comparison.
There's a common denominator.
Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly. And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do to fix myself before I'm just allowed to be happy, before I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me?
You can be happy right now.
How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait?
Rock,
I feel
paper,
like I'm being
scissors,
punished for something I didn't do. And I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't expect a lot.
I disagree.
I just want love in my life so bad. All of my friends have their fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands that they prioritize. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been left behind.
Okay, so a couple of things here. Of course, my heart goes out to you, but this person is gorgeous, obviously, objectively. So that means that either you're insane or you have insanely high standards. I'm sorry, there's no reason for a woman in her mid to late 20s who's beautiful to be venting to Instagram about how she cannot find a guy. You say, I just want someone like my friends. I guarantee you there's a guy out there who will love you, who will treat you well. The problem is you may be 5'9" and only make $55,000 a year. There is that guy there for you right now. I guarantee it.
And I understand that. And I felt bad because I was like, look, I waited quite a while and my wife waited quite a while. We didn't find the right person. And we have standards. My standard was, silly.
She had insanely high standards.
She probably
Gerald.
did, but that's not the
Mrs.
first
Morgan.
That's not the first thing that I went to, though.
That is what it is. Gerald, you're 6'4" and you run a business.
Yes, you're strong. You have new tooth money. You're the real deal, Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald's like, I don't know why she was in her third. I don't know. Was the cutoff 6'3.5"?
You're the real deal,
Yeah,
man.
and he was 6'4". Like, she was holding out 6'3" or higher and has to at least be CEO.
She made the right move. She laid it out. She found the one she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's perfect. But this lady, I guarantee you, by the way, I guarantee there's at least one guy that she knows personally.
Yes.
And watching that video that's going,
Yes. Probably a guy of average height, average build,
Yes.
relatively successful, has some stability in his life, but is uninteresting.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be, unless you really do have to work on yourself a whole lot or you have insanely high standards. I'm sorry. It's not like that is the situation.
I also have a really big problem. And so I actually laid out a scenario for you where I'm like, maybe what happened is she lived the life that everybody told her, like, go out, be single, do your thing, don't worry about
Sure.
it. and then got around to it like, oh my gosh, I'm 27, 28, 29. I better start kind of thinking about this if I want to have kids and want to pursue marriage, and all my friends are getting married. Oh my gosh, and freaked out. And then went on and had high standards. I think if that's the case too, I think that's also a problem. But she said, how much harder do I have to pray? How much more do I need to manifest? And I'm like, whoa. Like, you just said some stuff that is not biblical. You're not supposed to manifest a husband. This isn't something where you have Billy the magician go
Corinthians?
bing and go husband, and he just shows up at the door. No, it's not in any book of the Bible, first, second, or third of any of it. She basically said to it, how hard do you need? It's not about praying hard. God has a plan for your life, and there's a permissive will. There's a lot of different ways that can go, and it's not you sitting there going, God, if I'm only good enough, can you please send somebody? But this is pop culture Christianity at its worst. It convinces single men and women that if you're only doing this, if you only do that, if you only pray hard enough, if you only go to this conference and give that money and serve in that country, God will bring your mate. Stop buying that lie. Those things can be true.
Right.
Or you can find your mate in those situations, but don't buy the prosperity gospel BS that tells you just have to manifest
Well, it's
harder.
even worse
That's
than
not
that.
how it works.
You're right, but pop culture Christianity now is feminism combined with Christianity.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's you are perfect, you are enough. It's that life. In other words, if you're right as far as, let's say, living the life, okay, then we're back to insanely high standards. If you are in your late 20s and you lived that life, second adolescence, and you want someone your age who didn't, they're probably married, to be clear. Or you end up with, you are perfect just the way you are. No, you're not. You're good enough. You may not be. This is the problem.
Right.
There is a biblical plan for your life, and there's an antithetical plan, and that's the feminist plan. It's go out, pursue the wrong things, career. Look, you do have a choice to make. You do have a choice. You cannot have it all, but you do have a choice. And that must be nice because men don't. And that's the truth. And I had a conversation one time with a feminist woman, good woman, but a feminist woman. And she said, that's the biggest lie. She was sort of anti-third wave feminist. And she said, the big lie that feminism told is that you can have it all, but you can't. You either have to pick to be a career woman or you can, be a stay-at-home mom and wife. But and I said, must be nice to have a choice. She said, what? I said, no man has ever been given that choice. Do you think that if a man wants to have a wife and a family, he's told, and you can get all that if you're just a stay-at-home dad, you'll be beating them off with a stick? Never. From the moment we knew that we wanted to have our very own naked lady at home, you were told you're going to have to work for it. Well, by the sweat of your brow.
A naked lady? Come on, what?
Yeah. You want your own home naked lady.
Someday, Al, I tell you, I'm going to have my very own naked lady at home.
Yes.
She's going to have boobs and everything.
At least one.
At the beginning of that video, she also mentioned, she goes, everyone's telling me that I'm doing this wrong, and I'm doing that wrong, and I'm doing this wrong, and I'm doing that wrong. At some point, when do you look inward? At what point do you go, well, how do I, well, I'm doing everything wrong. Everyone's saying I'm doing everything wrong. Maybe they're right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. No, everyone's wrong.
And maybe it's not like a F you, you're a loser. It's like a, hey, well, what am I doing wrong? Like,
now, it would be very different if, let's say, this woman was in a long-term relationship for
she has
10
nervous
years.
Farts. That's what it is. She has nervous farts. She always
I bet you, I don't know this one, but I bet that's a big thing. I bet she was in a long relationship for a long time and it was just the wrong guy. And
that's not what she's saying, though. She's saying, I can't find a guy. I can't. How can you not find it when you're a pretty woman if you have it moderately together? And I will say this, look, and this is a problem with the modern dating sphere, and you know what? You can comment below. Everyone faces different obstacles, men and women. But there is an issue of accountability. Men, they're not told that they're wrong. They're corrected for being wrong. They're in the workplace, if you're on a sports team, by your own friends, right? Physically corrected.
If you're too wrong, your friends physically correct you for being too wrong.
Yes. It's not a gossip that women tend to damage through other people through manipulation or gossip because they don't physically fight as much. Men, it's, hey, you stepped over a line, you can't do that, and you come to blows. A boss says, hey, that was a bad job, and I'm sure that happens with women too, but we don't get the sugar-coated version. If you're on a sports team, my God, you're told that you are wrong all the time. Oof. So you can't go through life getting to your 30s as a man without having had to take accountability in a team environment. You don't get to say, everyone says I'm wrong. It's, I was wrong and I face consequences, and you correct it, or you decide not to. So I hope that this woman gets it right. I hope that this woman does look inward, and maybe it's insanely high standards, or maybe there's a little bit of the clinical insanity. Maybe you boiled someone's pet rabbit.
And I know most women don't want to hear this, but maybe she should try and chill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Relax.
Are you saying smile more? That's
Chill out.
sexist.
No, I'm kidding.
Never
Calm
mind.
down.
Don't smile more. Die alone. So,
Speaking of dying alone. No, I'm just kidding.
at a certain point, you can scream until you're blue in the face. Like she's like, they're saying, what I see there is they're saying, I need to change this and I need to change that. It's the world needs to change. Not always. It's like that movie Rent, the play Rent, where everyone is. I guess then it was adapted to a screenplay. Where everyone is screwing around in Alphabet Village in New York City and using drugs with dirty needles, intravenous drugs, and then they get AIDS. And then they're going, it's not, there's actually the line in the film. This is when I got up, walked out, and then walked back in because I was like, it's going to torture me if I don't see how it ends. And it was worse. You don't need to change. The world needs to change. No. Hold on a second. You're screwing everybody and sharing dirty needles. You need to change. The whole world doesn't do that. It's a you problem. Rent.
All my friends are dying. Gee, it's a mystery. We have no idea how this is happening.
Let's sing about it.
Yes.
And then I got a.
We'll lightly dance.
Yes. All right. Speaking of wrong, let's move on to this. Former Vice President Biden, respect the office, gave this commencement speech, and I'm sure you saw this at Morehouse College. But I also need to be clear here. We're going to fact check all of this. All the references are publicly available. We put them in the link in the description. He told the students, and I watched this. You can comment below. I said, "Is this guy actually a communist at this point?" Listen to the actual speech. Everything about it just reeks of the Communist Manifesto. Marx for the uninitiated. What's the difference between a Marxist, a communist, and a Leninist? I'm not sure, aside from the facial hair. You guys can comment below.
This is Morehouse College? It's a
Morehouse College.
HBCU?
Yeah.
Another white man stealing a black man's job.
So he told them that America hated them because they were black.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Well, they just graduated college.
Sorry,
wrong clip.
Right clip. And by the way, the speech is just what made it to prompter. What was cut was even worse.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy?
Well, he's actually asking. He doesn't.
You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What?
And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
Oh, come on. Really?
So much of the racist.
Jeez.
What year is it?
I know.
What year does he think it is?
I don't know what he thinks.
They go in a hip hop club. What's my name? What's my name? So we also actually have the exclusive audio of his prep.
Oh, no.
Which was worse.
Okay, Mr. President, for the commencement address, you're going to want to focus
I'll tell them one of my stories about sticking up for blacks.
Sir, I don't really
When I was growing, like back in South Central Delaware, when I used to run with Trey and Ricky.
Trey and Ricky, sir? That wasn't you.
Yeah, it was me. I remember like it was yesterday, the day Doughboy got arrested.
No, I think that's Boys in the Hood. You watched it with Hunter last night. We heard you from the other office.
I raised 2 boys in the hood. 2 of them. One of them died in the Korean War.
No, it's a movie.
Yeah, you should make it a movie. It'd be a good movie. Hire one of those clean, well-spoken black actors. Ricky and Doughboy both got gunned down. See? That's what these kids need to hear. They all don't know, don't show, or don't care about, the thing.
Sir, I really don't.
I'm telling you, man. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Okay. Just read the prompter, please.
Brandy never gave me no skin. Hello?
Brandy is tight-fisted with the skin, so you know what? I can't fault him for that.
I'd
Let's
be mad too.
go through. Did you? No. Okay. Let's go through the first claim.
Did I what?
I didn't know if you had something that you were gonna. There you go. First claim that he makes. All these references are available. He says that George Floyd was murdered.
You started college just as George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
relevant.
you couldn't tell George Floyd out of a lineup, dude.
No.
he probably thinks George Floyd. He thinks, oh yeah, it's a boxer.
Yes.
It's a George Floyd Mayweather foreman. He has no idea.
It's a Philly show. I used to box. Amy's Diner. What? So, he says George Floyd was murdered. Here's the truth. And I'm glad that everyone else can say this now, because for a time you weren't allowed to discuss this. He resisted arrest while he was high on fentanyl and a cocktail of drugs. The examiner's report found fentanyl to the level of 11, I believe it's nanograms per milliliter in his system. That was the level of it. Now, just so you know, 3 nanograms per milliliter can be fatal.
Yeah.
He also had methamphetamine, THC. You guys can go and read the report. He had no life-threatening injuries. I don't know if you know this, but fentanyl actually harms a lot of, sometimes you don't need anything else to happen other than just fentanyl, let alone more than 3 times the fatal dose. It's almost like we have an epidemic of fatal fentanyl overdoses.
But not him.
No.
Apparently, this was not his kryptonite.
No. And just so you know, we did this a long time ago, and of course we got flack for it, but I stand by it. We showed you, in case you want to watch, we'll put the link in the description, that the knee alone, Chauvin's knee alone, would not, at this point in time, George Clooney said, if you're going to sit down, get down on the ground for 9 minutes here, you're willing to let someone kneel on your neck for 9 minutes, I'll allow Chauvin to be declared not guilty. I did exactly that, and it was at most mildly uncomfortable. It's time for me to go outside and live on concrete, knee on neck / shoulder for 9 minutes. Kneel on my neck, here, shoulder.
Oh, pause the timer.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
There we go.
I just don't understand
What's
when
the
we
point?
decided that violent offenders who are resisting arrest are supposed to be entirely comfortable. One, and now we beat it by 2 seconds.
Happy New Year.
All right, Tokunawan,
There
get
you
off.
go.
Get off. Okay, good. There we go. We're
Get him
done.
up.
Now, the worst part of that was actually they put on the handcuffs the wrong way, so my wrists were bleeding. So it was actually more uncomfortable.
People were so pissed off that we did that.
Don't care.
No, it was hilarious.
I also didn't have
Their
3
reaction.
times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
You didn't.
So I almost feel like, just by the skin of my teeth.
Or meth, or THC, or any of the other.
Well, you don't have
5
any
pages.
tolerance either. So George Floyd had the tolerance of a horse.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
A lot of horses on fentanyl.
Sure.
I don't know equine prescriptions. Let's go to the next claim that he makes, which is pretty easy to debunk, and we will, that black men are being killed on the street.
What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street,
Here's the truth.
What the?
That is true, but it's by other black men, largely. So in 2019, 89% of black murder victims were killed by a black offender. 89%.
Wow.
Yikes.
You can't find that high of a percentage point for anything else.
No.
Well, they were, most of those were black cops, to be fair.
No, most of them were not black cops.
I
There
know.
are but black cops are they are the most at-risk group as far as, almost any profession in the country, and they're at significantly higher risk than other cops as far as being targeted.
Okay.
Here's another truth, by the way, that police officers, they're not out hunting black men, to be clear. They're actually 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than killing a black suspect themselves. Again, that reference is available. 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than to kill a black suspect. Not to mention this study that came out of Harvard. I don't know if you know the guy who conducted this study. One of those black guys, 23% less likely black Americans to be shot by police than whites. They are 23% less likely. You can argue it until you're blue in the face. This doesn't mean that black guys don't get pulled over by racist cops to be shaken down because they have a baggie of weed. I get it. But as far as black men being gunned down, it is not happening by cops. Far more young black men are gunning down cops, and far more young black men are being gunned down by other black men. It's over. That's it. Myth busted. You don't get to repeat this anymore. Done.
Yeah, but the media will not ever report on that stuff because all they did was tell us that black people were being killed at will by police officers.
Did he also say all this in front of the flag from Congo?
I think
that is the Congolese.
The place where they're literally selling people and enslaving their own people for batteries.
Yes. Also, they have white apes with laser guns.
No.
Yeah.
They find the mines?
Yes. People younger than 30 are like, what? It's a horrible film, but I still have I still have the promotional popcorn bucket.
Do you really?
I do. Here's the next claim. I'm a hoarder.
He has a whole collection. He has all these popcorn buckets at his house.
Yes.
I have Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Oh,
popcorn bucket.
Did you get that Dune? That Dune 2 promotional?
No. Mine are the classics.
Fleshlight thing?
That looks really weird, by the way.
Yeah.
I have a little Burger King watch from Jurassic Park: Lost World, where if you clicked it, it flipped open like it was a dino cage.
Oh.
Why are you buying those things?
I don't buy those things. I keep those things. So
steals them.
Another claim that he makes here is that blacks, as he calls them, they have to be 10 times better to get a fair shot.
What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What? I mean, listen, I'm sorry, but these kids, what, 22-ish years old? Imagine sitting in that audience and hearing him say that as you're about to like embark on life and believing what he's selling.
Well, actually, Reverend Al Sharpton was in the audience, and he seemed to be buying at wholesale.
Nice rhyme.
That's not a rap.
Here's
Fat Al Sharpton.
The truth is that, look, you may experience individual racism, but as far as systemic racism, black Americans are actually given special treatment not afforded to any other demographic in this country right now, aside from maybe illegal immigrants. And by the way, I have my gripes there too. So let me give you an example. Harvard, black students, for example, in the bottom 40%, when they're going to Harvard, bottom 40% of their class, they have a 19% chance of being admitted.
This is like applicants?
Yes.
Like their high school
applicants to Harvard.
grades?
Yeah, okay. Bottom 40%. So black students, if they're in the bottom 40% of their class, they apply to Harvard, they have a 19% chance of being admitted. Asian students in the bottom 40, a 1.7 chance. White students, 2.8. Hispanic students, 7.8. It's not even close. And there are other examples, of course, of affirmative action. I think it's distinctly racist. And I think it's a horrible thing for a black student, for a young black American, to not know if they've actually earned their spot. But hey, that's equity as opposed to equality. We had this with a Change My Mind. This one black girl said, I don't think I would have been able to get into UT not for affirmative action. Oh, yeah. I said, well, you didn't have good grades? She said, no, I had great grades. I said, what were your extracurriculars like? She said, they were great. No, I was top 2% of my class, or she was valedictorian. I said, I think that's really sad that you think you only got in here because of the color of your skin. Yeah. Because you actually deserve to be here.
She earned that.
And I hope that you take some pride in that and not belittle it by thinking some bureaucrat riddled with white guilt admitted you. She said, oh, okay, thank you. I think it's cruel. I think affirmative action is actually cruel. Just like I think it would be cruel to put someone with a physical disability on an oil rig. They shouldn't be there if they are not qualified, and they're more likely to get hurt. So this is where we are, and you can sound off. I'd love to hear especially if you're a young black American who worries about affirmative action having benefited you. Is that something you struggle with? I can imagine that's pretty tough. You have Biden here just pandering. He's pandering because you have Donald Trump, who has a higher percentage of the black vote than any Republican since Nixon. A lot of people don't remember. Nixon was actually quite popular when he ran compared to most Republicans with black Americans. And this is when we're seeing right now a surge in black support for Donald Trump, which, of course, by the way, has CNN freaking out.
Oh, my God!
What is it with the clips today? Wrong. Here's this. This is CNN clip.
But look at this number for Donald Trump, 22%. Where was Donald Trump at this point 4 years ago in the polls? He was just at 9% of the vote. So he's seen more than a doubling in his support among African Americans. This margin, which was in the 70s just 4 years ago, look at where it is now, 69 minus 22. That puts it in the 40s. My goodness gracious. If this held through the general election,
it's the same guy that did it last time.
This would be by far the best performance for a Republican candidate among black voters in a generation, 2 generations, probably since 1960.
He's good at math.
He is.
Well, kind of. He got 40s. He didn't have the time to come up with 47, but
Trump will be the 47th president, so I guess it works.
Yeah.
There's symmetry.
I see a lot to be hopeful about, and not just this election, not just Donald Trump, of course, President Trump becoming president again, but I see a cultural shift where a lot of people are not buying what they're selling, and I want to sort of spend some time on that before I go into the next story, which makes you think that the world is about to end. So,
what?
What?
Do you think that President Biden was asked by Morehouse to do it, or do you think that?
Hold on, I'm sorry. Who?
Oh, sorry, Vice President. I forgot to respect the office.
Yes,
former Vice President Biden.
Thank you.
Do you think that
You're better than that.
they asked him or that he asked them?
Oh, yeah.
That's a 50-50 shot.
I'm going he asked them.
We have an octogenarian white guy that wants to come speak at your black college. Is that
I'm thinking he tried 3 other HBCUs.
Yes.
Before finally getting one to say yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, come on to the hip hop. The hippity hop, but don't stop the boogie. What? Yeah. You know the thing. What? NWA ain't nothing about it. What?
By the way,
He might as well have gotten up there and said, hey,
Hey, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. The police.
okay, Joe. Doesn't it? Hold on. Something just crossed my mind. This may be really stupid, and I may get raked over the coals for this, but given what we said about admissions and everything else, doesn't going to an all-black college give up one of your benefits?
yes.
It's kind of dumb at that point.
Yes.
Like, because it's like, yeah, I'm black, and we've got the affirmative action stuff. And
Right.
There's other things. I have admissions. Yeah.
If you're
Like everyone here is, sir, or very much. I mean, I'm not sure that it's
Not
100%,
everyone.
but
Yeah, it's
mostly,
not everyone.
like
Right. The point is,
significant
if they were a middling black American student
Right.
at Harvard, they got a shot instead of going to the Morehouse.
I don't know that they call it that.
I went to Morehouse. Biden is speaking. So you better shut your black mouth.
Come on. It's not a joke.
By the way, none of this happens without your support. If you want more content like this,
Or if you don't.
or if you don't, but isn't it fun? We don't have to worry about being removed from YouTube because it's not funded by a foreign caliphate. We'll get to Iran in a second, but we have the promo code right now. It's Military Appreciation Month. Use the promo code military. You get $10 off of your Mug Club membership at lighterwithcrowder.com/Mug Club, and 10% of the proceeds go to our veterans and service members. So we're happy to be able to do that. And all of this is gearing up as we go into the election. And it's going to be a marathon, that election.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be a very, very long stream, all supported by you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Click the button or the link in the description.
You just click that button.
Make it easy. Makes
Click
it easy.
I know it burns,
Yeah.
but click it.
Do it.
So here's something I know you're going to say, why are you spending time on this? Well, it's...
Are you?
If you read the title of this,
Are you just repeating our conversation from earlier?
It's because, and this happens all the time, we'll get people sending us content saying, why aren't you covering this? A good example, George Floyd. Okay, let's use that first to preface this. We here covered and told you about the fact that George Floyd committed an armed robbery, and there was a woman in the house. He held her at gunpoint, and she had a daughter there. I believe the daughter was about 3 years old. That happened. Unfortunately, a lot of people on the right went out and told you that George Floyd pointed a gun at a pregnant lady's belly. That's not true. That didn't happen. He did hold a lady at gunpoint in front of her daughter in her own house. Hey, the truth should be enough. You already have something significant that's a point of discussion. Instead, unfortunately, in the era of clickbait, people decide that they need to embellish, they need to one-up someone else. And then you end up leaving your social media experience armed with incorrect information. And I will tell you, this is a problem. I'm worried about it because truth is not subjective. The phrase, my truth, is silly. It's something that stupid people say. There is the truth. So, this is a perfect example. And it seems inconsequential, but apply it to any news event. April 21st, this account explaining the universe on Instagram posted this video that got millions and millions of plays, 47.8 million plays to be clear, and I don't know how many millions of interactions, that involved this harrowing rescue of a sea turtle. It's fake, by the way.
Oh my God. No way. No way.
No.
For those listening on audio, it's a shark trying to kill a sea turtle.
How do we get the turtle?
Sea turtle gets away.
Sea turtle gets away. Good for you, turtle.
Just committed a crime.
They take the turtle from his home. Kidnap him.
And they let the turtle out.
And Jaws.
According to this video. And they say, what happens next is amazing. The turtle began diving. Back to the diver who said, then ate the jellyfish to protect the diver. And the diver offers a thank you.
They're eating like Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, exactly. Only his face is going to look like Hitch. That's a jellyfish. So, first off, I watched it and I thought it was probably fake because sea turtles don't save other sea turtles from jellyfish that way. They don't have a memory of what happened. Also, when I watch them going, hold on, that diver's not the one who rescued the sea turtle, and it looks like a different sea turtle. Now,
yeah, when did the frat boys get a scuba suit?
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. The original story, and I found this because the person who posted the original story commented on this on Instagram and said, that's not true, though. This is actually, I was the one in the water. That was my story. I posted it. But that's not what happened. And by the way, this can also misinform people as to sea turtle behavioral patterns. But let's take this.
That's the real important
and apply it to elections.
It is election season.
Apply it to abortion. Apply it to gun laws. Apply it to George Floyd. Mm-hmm. The original clip was posted by two accounts, by the way, February 21st, the Dodo and this other account, the Native Explorer. And this is the real sea turtle video, but it only has 1.1 million views compared to the 47 million views. Okay, see if you can spot the problem. It's still a great story, the real one.
Whenever I took my head out of the water, she took her head out of the water also. Immediately when we jumped in, we saw the turtle eating the jellyfish.
I was hand feeding the turtle like a puppy. The turtle and I became buddies.
I love that accent.
She was mimicking me.
Sounds like the same guy.
Then I thought, how can I make the turtle feel more comfortable with us?
Maybe I will try to eat the jellyfish together with her. It completely changed the behavior of the turtle. As soon as I did it, she brought the jellyfish to the surface. She shared the jellyfish with us. She was waiting for me to feed her the jellyfish.
I want to see the video from the jellyfish perspective.
It was really a remarkable experience.
It's just...
The same music's playing, by the way. And at this point, they both started eating me. I was in shock because humans are not supposed to eat me.
And then another account takes it and it's like, I'm the jellyfish's dad. Like, he's not. That's his fake account. So go to the Dodo Native Explorer and try and boost their play count and support them. Yeah. Look, this person is actually out there doing the work. I don't know what they do, studying. And I'm assuming that this is correct too. This person could be lying and saying it's their video. It could be some random other person. It seems like this is the real video by the Dodo and the Native Explorer. The issue here is, think about this for a second. If people are willing to do this with something that seems inconsequential, that doesn't matter, I am telling you, as someone who has been in this industry for 2 decades, this happens all the time. Remember that number where they said 2.7 million new voters without ID or 2.4 million in Texas? It's not true. The good news is, hey, it's not true. Because if that happened to be true, guess what? Texas goes blue and loses every election forevermore. But it's not true. Because people will take the real issue that maybe you have thousands of people who've registered without some kind of ID. That's an issue. We need to shore up our election laws. Absolutely. They'll lie to you so that you are more likely to share their bullshit than the truth. But that doesn't help you. It only lines the pockets of people who don't create any content and who lie about content. As for the turtle, turns out, by the way, that the turtle's just Shelley, the renowned turtle actor. We all know. Here's a look at Shelley's portfolio.
That should look familiar.
That's, in BP Oil Spill. That was a good one. Then there was
remembers that.
Shelley's also been in some pop culture films. Remember there? Shelley.
Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
And even family films. Shelley was in there. So good for Shelley.
Who could forget Dory? But
Dory did.
Dory. Yeah, that was a.
Were you doing a Dory?
No, I was answering my own question. It was bad timing, bad joke. Sorry, guys.
And the statistics on this are really they're pretty dire. Look, fake news on social media. It's 32% of Americans between the ages of 18 and 19, they get their news from TikTok. And by the way, TikTok...
18 to 29, not 18 to 19. Sorry.
18 and 29, sorry. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company with direct ties to the Communist Chinese Party. We have been banned for saying that Xi Jinping has a small penis, and that's real news.
But he does, objectively.
And censorship, obviously... None of us here are fans of censorship. There's a big difference between media censorship, for example, opinions that they don't like, and things like bots, foreign governments, stealing content to profit off of it and claiming it as your own. This is a different, and this is happening quite a bit. And you know what's going to happen 10, 15 years from now? You're going to run out of content to steal. There are billions of fake accounts, bots on social media, and people aren't able to identify them. There was a recent study at Notre Dame that showed people misidentified bots 58% of the time. It's about 160 million of the accounts on TikTok alone.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow, I didn't realize there's that many.
160 million fake accounts?
Yeah. That's why people
I want to take the test. I want to see if I could identify it.
It can be pretty tough.
Yeah.
That's why people like Jackson Hinkle can thrive when 40% of the followers are bots. Hit the like button. Hit the like button if you've noticed some bots in your timeline. By the way,
I do. It usually says nudes in bio.
Yes, yes.
Like,
no, she's real and she likes me.
If you are a short, fat, furry, poor man and a perfect woman is telling you to send them your routing number, no, do as you please. You know what? It seems like a good deal.
that sounds like you're directly talking to me, but fine.
You know you're not that hairy.
No, I'm not.
You're not furry.
I'm being silly. I am a furry on the weekends.
Yeah, well, that's a different thing.
Don't tell my kids.
No, that's okay. I won't. They're too young to watch this. Well, as we discuss foreign governments here, you have China, you have Russia, Iran. They lead the way in spreading misinformation, and it's not necessarily about Donald Trump like he tried to make you believe. They, for example, okay, China, Russia, Iran, 400 articles that were spread on social media about the campus protests in the first 2 weeks of the protests. Lot of misinformation out there.
Oh, yeah.
As far as stealing content, and this happens all the time, happens with us, happens with other people out there, and I know great content creators. 2018 study actually showed that 40% of traffic to Facebook went to pages that pretty much entirely steal content. TikTok actually has tutorials on how to steal other people's content. It's a click farm business to make money by lying to you. None of it matters. That's why we make all of our references publicly available. We make mistakes, and I understand there's a difference between making mistakes and specifically planning on never creating anything of value, stealing, lying, and profiting off of that. And I'm telling you, this happens on the left, it happens on the right, and it happens with stories that aren't even political. It happens all the time, and it's a very, very scary thought to think of a generation of people who are raised with this. I get it. It's great that CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, they should not be the gatekeepers to media. But we do need to expect better from all of ourselves. And I would say this. If the program you watch does not provide references consistently, you should probably switch.
Yeah.
Outside of us here, I would switch. I won't actually follow any profiles. I won't watch any programs that just say things with no references whatsoever, because anyone can say anything at any time, and you need to be given the tools to fact check it. Whether it's a sea turtle or it's a pipe bursting in Atlanta, Georgia in the middle of the night in an election.
Yeah. No, and I think it's really important too. Like we've talked about this the whole time. Like use us as a source because we give you all of our sources, but find other ones too. Like this is a problem that we have to clean ourselves. Too many people fall victim to this and very quickly just run through a timeline and go, yes, repost, yes, like that, comment on this, and don't even question the provider. I keep seeing the same people talking about the same stupid things, and I'm going like, I can't trust this person for anybody. All right, I'm going to mute that person so that I don't see their stuff anymore because I know they're just putting stuff out there that they don't even know anything about.
Yep.
So that's what has to be done. But also on X, with Elon Musk, with community notes, that's one of the ways that you can actually do it. And it's not perfect. I mean, it's got a lot of problems with it, but at least it's trying to solve the problem.
I would actually say this, as it relates to news, you should sooner watch a leftist, liberal, Marxist news resource that provides all of the references than a right-wing one that provides nothing.
Yeah.
Because the most important tool that you have at your disposal here is yourself. I'm not calling you a tool, I get it, but just come on, grow up. You are the one who need to be the sieve through which this is filtered. You need to be. And comment, please, if you've run into this and you found yourself caught flat-footed. It happens to everyone. It happens to the best of us. It can be really, really hard to decipher real news from fake news. And you know what? It's a big deal for people who, imagine that guy. If you go out there, you're actually studying sea turtles, you get a boat, you spend all this time, and some other guy makes 20 times the revenue that you do by lying about it and claiming it as their own. That's a real problem.
That's what happens.
And it's against the law. It's against the law. So we support people who create content, period, who actually create the content and who actually try and, hold themselves accountable to you. And by the way, another way you can support, if not Mug Club, is the crowdershop.com.
Yeah.
You can fight like hell with us to try and preserve this constitutional republic. I won't say democracy because that's some bullshit.
And by the way, do you know what happens too? People steal your shirt designs.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that
not
happened.
even kidding.
To the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, the communism is for a fig shirt. Got stolen. That was a big one.
Go to crowdershop.com. You're not going to see it on Etsy.
No.
Whatever the hell else other site, eBay.
Oh, someone go find this on eBay.
Oh, no.
I saw an actual 3-patch rock or 3-piece Hell's Angels vest.
What?
They were selling it. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Wow. Purchase an accurate Hell's Angels vest and go wear it into the clubhouse.
Was it game worn?
What happened? Yeah.
Someone can find it on eBay. I was like, this is the worst idea I've ever seen in my life.
It's going to get you killed.
Probably someone from Alibaba who doesn't understand the rules. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like they think it's like a Harley shirt, like a fashion statement.
Yeah. No.
My friend saw one of his jokes get put on like merchandise on Pinterest.
Happens all the time.
The joke was, I'm married, which is like, which means I know somebody who eats salad out of a mason jar or something. It was something silly like that. And then people started putting it on like mason jars and like mugs. Yeah. And they were selling it on eBay and on Pinterest and stuff like that. And well, now I can't tell that joke anymore because people have seen it everywhere.
Well, there are going to be some lawsuits incoming because as a comedian, you actually own the copyright. You own the literary copyrights and the spoken word copyrights.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So that's one of those. Otherwise, hey, if you don't want any new, there will be no next Nick DiPaolo, no next Pryor, no next Carlin, no next Bill Burr. It won't happen. Why would someone take the risk, go out and do it if they're just going to be ripped off and someone lies about it? And it's the same. There will be no valid news. There will be no valid news sources. And Gerald, look, I'm not to spend too much time on this, but you know this. The industry is set up on this where it's a share for a share. It's, hey, will you share this? This is picking up steam. And if we don't, because it's not true, then you're a diva. It's like, oh, well, if you're not supportive, we're not going to support. Well, but I don't want to share the post that's a lie.
Or sensationalizing something just for the fact that you want to get some clicks.
Right. Which is the next story. This is a great example.
Oh, no.
People sensationalizing it. Okay. The Iranian
he actually did.
He did die.
He did die.
He did die. So that's fun.
But
the Iranian President Raisi was. Now, this doesn't, spoiler alert, it doesn't change.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. It doesn't change a whole lot, but it is significant. Raisi of Iran was killed when the helicopter crash took place in, I believe it was northwestern Iran, which is, you know, it's not the best area of Iran, but it's up and coming.
Let's just show you pictures from Iran State TV just a couple of minutes ago. They confirmed the death of President Raisi and the Foreign Minister Amir Abdollahian in a helicopter crash. And Ali Hasham's here in the studio. And a seminal moment for Iranians.
See, I appreciate that he said crash, but according to state media, they first said like, oh, the helicopter made a hard landing.
Yeah.
A really hard landing.
Really hard landing. And by the way, it's a helicopter, not a helicopter.
It was a great helicopter.
Helicopter.
Bad landing.
Bad landing.
Bad landing.
I've been meaning to get that fixed.
It flies great right up until contact with the ground.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a bit of confusion as to how it got off course. Some unconfirmed reports claim that President Raisi asked to make a quick detour to Kuwait to visit his second favorite restaurant.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Second favorite restaurant? What was his favorite? What was the first
that's KFC, Kuwaiti fried chicken.
Oh, really?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
See, look, they got the face on there. Jeff, that's him.
That's not real.
And by the way, the country's
check our sources.
The country's supreme leader, that's what he wants to be called. I often call him a dick.
Can you imagine it asking? No, it's supreme leader.
Supreme leader.
Most
like your
high?
intro.
No.
What does supreme mean? Sour cream and extra salsa.
All the veggies.
So the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which is just funny because there was Ayatollah Khamenei. Anyway, just very similar names. So the country's actual supreme leader released this statement on X saying, "With deep sorrow and regret, I have received the bitter news of the martyrdom of the people's president, the competent, hardworking Haj Saeed Ibrahim Raisi and his esteemed entourage." Sure. So
martyrdom?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, hold on. What did the Jews invent fog and have fog lasers that killed him, and now he gets to be a martyr because his helicopter crashed because a frickin' O-ring went out?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with the regret, too?
Yeah.
What do you regret?
maybe he did.
Cutting the line to the propellers?
Yes.
Like what is
Forcing it was he had to take off in the fog, and Allah would protect him. He was told that from the supreme leader himself.
Yep, that's what he was. Who, by the way, pretty much runs the country. So let me give you a quick recap as to who this person is. In 1988, Raisi oversaw the murder of hundreds of political opponents as a member of the Tehran Death Committee.
Well, that's a weird
thing.
name for it.
Tehran Death Committee. They didn't even try and hide it.
No.
I want to see that motorcycle jacket.
Yeah, the Committee on Mountain Research. No. Tehran Death Committee.
Has a nice ring, does it not? You're an idea man. So 2021, this guy was elected as the 8th president of Iran.
Did whatever.
Yeah.
Appointed.
He also was president over a time. There were a bunch of there were these huge mass protests. You may not remember this. After there was this death, Masha Amini. For those who don't remember, Amini died after being arrested for not wearing a hijab.
Take off your scarf.
Show us your hair. It's a totally different society. Did she get beads for that?
I don't know if she got beads. I have no idea.
She got beat for it.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
It's almost like you guys should stage a coup and throw out the theocracy and take your country back.
You would think so, but no.
Do the work.
No. Nike's too busy creating hijab burqas. Sorry, Nike burqas. Nike hijabs? I don't know. They did something. It's moisture wicking.
The air hijab.
Just beat it. So, Raisi, just to be clear, this is a key fact, was not the real leader of Iran. This is what I think is most important. That's the Ayatollah. Okay, the Ayatollah is head of the state, basically all commerce. He's the commander. Iran's actually the only nation where the executive branch does not control, meaning the president does not control the military. That is the Ayatollah. The president is completely subordinate to the Ayatollah. So what does this mean?
I didn't know they had a president. Turns out they don't.
No.
Not
do
really. They have a figurehead.
And so the Ayatollah, because you have some people on X, right here. They're trying to tell you this is going to change everything. So I think this is overlay C6. You have influencers who are saying, this death is going to change the world. The world is about to drastically change. No, it's not about to drastically change, just to be clear. That's not true. So to give you an idea, before this man died, Hamas was largely funded by Iran. Iran is the biggest funder of terrorism globally, okay? And you were paying for it. So, for example, the Obama nuclear deal with Iran was $1.7 billion, and then former Vice President Biden unfroze $6 billion in Iranian oil revenue. That money goes directly, or in a lot of ways, goes directly to terrorism. Now, some of that money is still locked in Qatar, one of the other biggest funders of terrorism, and Qatar, the single biggest donor to American universities of any foreign entity, not even close. So what happened before the death? Your tax dollars go to fund terrorism. What has happened after the death? Exactly the same thing, because the Ayatollah is still in charge.
It's just going to be more of the same. And everybody was making this point. Like, I understand thinking some foul play, right? Because there's been obvious.
It's Iran!
Of course they're thinking foul play, because the incoming president already has new business cards made up.
What is this receipt from Vistaprint?
Just pay for shipping.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bullshit. No, but
Gerald snuck it in there, man.
The reason it's so funny to me is because the new president of Iran is screwed. Now I'm picturing the new president of Iran. He's like still subscribed to Columbia House Records.
The new president of Iran only travels by car.
Flying in helicopters. I get thinking maybe there was some foul play, right? It's Iran, but it's also Iran and Israel. Tensions are really high right now. You can think something happened there. But then to rush out and say, like, hey, this is going to be this big freaking deal and the whole world's going to change. It's like, well, no, it's really not. And you should just tell people the truth and be like, look, it's going to be more of the same. Unless the next guy is going to kill the Ayatollah and take over the country, it's going to be more of the same.
Yes.
It's whatever the direction is from the Ayatollah.
Exactly.
Period.
And this is the problem with fake news proliferating and sensationalism. It's, oh my gosh, World War III. No, look, you're funding terrorism globally. Did you know that? Comment below. Did you know that you were funding terrorism globally? So when people say we're funding both sides of the war, we're really funding all sides of the war all the time, all sides of global conflict all the time. And the United States foots the bill for everybody more than anyone else in the history of the world. That's the issue, and that is not going to change. Now, in all fairness, because of foul play in Iran, President Raisi should have likely seen the warning signs.
Yeah.
But now I have Monster Mash in my head.
Why are all my appointments canceled?
He just looks at his Google Calendar. Delete. Cleared. Oh, fuck.
I can't log into my email.
Yeah, can't log in. It's calling the Ayatollah deal. I don't know. They must have be doing a software update. I don't know.
Call us when you land.
Jihad mail was that.
Sorry.
Knock them dead at your speech. Yes. I've heard you will. I've heard you're going to make quite an impact. Iran sucks. I don't care. I don't feel bad.
Murderous thug. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of tears for him.
That is not to say that Iran has always sucked.
No.
It just sucks today.
Your presidency is going quite well. You're on fire.
Oh, wait. What do you mean? You're the bomb.
They're going to eat it up. That'll make sense in 1 second. They crashed in the place that has like the largest population of wolves in the country.
Oh.
They planned this. They got there flying through the fog. The pilot's like, oh, looks like a bunch of fog. Why is the ground on fire? I think it's smoke.
Yes. The last words that the president heard was a pilot saying, okay, we are approaching the wolf den. What? Huh? Nothing.
Why are you wearing a parachute?
It's a style thing. People wear parachutes now. You haven't heard of the new, it's Christian Dior parachute. So the story is going to dominate the news cycle, but just look, what's really happening is, okay, the president was a douchebag, the Ayatollah is a douchebag, not much will change, but that's not going to stop social media from sensationalizing it, lying to you about it, and that happens whether it is the former vice president on the economy. They will lie to you about this and try and tell you that things are going well. They will lie to you about the Ayatollah, about the Iranian president, or sea turtles. It doesn't matter as long as people can make a profit. And that's why we do what we do, and we appreciate your support because all this is funded by you, and we don't need to do that. We can make jokes, but we don't need to present you with fake news as though it's real. I know what some of you are going to say. Hey, I don't believe that was actually the president. In that, no, you're right. That was a rotoscope Photoshop of MASH. Okay, it's not lost on me.
Same helicopter though.
Same helicopter.
Same model.
Refurbished.
Same Korean.
Lightly used. So we appreciate your support and do consider joining up because especially it's a sprint for us right now. Between now and the election, you can go to loudearthcredit.com/MugClub or just click that button below. $10 off with the promo code military for Military Appreciation Month. You can click that button right down there. We're going to continue actually right now on Mug Club. I forgot. We haven't played this, and I don't know if we've ever played this.
Oh yeah, we have played it one time. And
that's right.
Gerald's a sneaky good because he knows all the Sylvester. No, he knows all the football stuff. So.
Yes. Well, we're going to be playing Sylvester Stallone or College Football Coach, which is a lot more fun than it sounds.
It is.
So if you're watching on Rumble, you click there, boom, join Mug Club, keep watching with us. We'll take your chat. If you're watching on YouTube, piss off.